Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlicker shills, desolators, peasants, vassals, fellow NSA targets. I'm a useful idiot, and I recently did a video about the broader spectrum in which the term terrorism is going to be used. And one of the goals of this wider dragnet of what they want to label as terrorists or terrorist activity is to basically take a whole gamut of crimes and turn them into the shadow judicial system, the shadow justice system, the shadow law system, the shadow military system, the shadow police system, this other system that exists outside of the Constitution and behind closed doors. And we've seen that a lot. Constitutional rights superseded by these extrajudicial systems that are set up. And so not only do we have copyright infringement and property rights now being lobbied to be included along with the drug war and your actual terrorists as terrorist activity, but we also have a number of documents coming out from the government that show that there's a whole series of guidelines that are being used that have such a broad spectrum, but also point to the fact that the government is going to target dissidents and label them as terrorists. And it gets pretty silly, and it would be funny if it wasn't so tragic and dangerous. So let's get down to some of these. Now, the most recent one that came out is the Department of Defense training manual, and it talked about people who might be considered a terrorist threat if they're interested in individual liberties, states' rights, and are concerned about how to make the world a better place. So yeah, that sounds like a terrorist profile to me. And this manual bars military personnel from publicly demonstrating, rallying, fundraising, or organizing. So in other words, all civil rights for soldiers are suspended when you join the military, and the Constitution no longer applies to you either. And in this manual, it even refers to political protests as, quote, low-level terrorism, unquote. So now, not only are we going to have terrorism used as a broad spectrum, but there's going to be different degrees and levels. So political protests will be low-level terrorism, and I guess driving a plane into a building is a high-level terrorism. Or maybe we should bring back the old Department of Homeland Security color code chart, alert chart, since it costs several $1 billion. But I digress. So anyway, there's one very nebulous profile system of who is considered low-level terrorists. But then we also have a 2012 Department of Homeland Security Behavioral Science Division came up with a list of indicators of potential terrorism. And that includes reverence of individual liberty, anti-nuclear, believes in conspiracy theories, a belief that their way of life is under attack. They are about imposing strict religious laws. They insert religion into the political sphere. Those who seek to politicize religion, those who support political movements for autonomy, and anti-abortion, anti-Catholic, anti-globalization, suspicious of centralized authority, fiercely nationalistic, and feels there's a need to prepare. So in other words, the entire prepper community, a lot of militia, John Birch Society, constitutionalists, all that type are all profiled in this and are potentially going to be looked at as terrorists. So just like other government agencies, notably the IRS, are used to target certain political groups and affiliations, these are the kind of things they're going to be looking for as well. But out of all these, my favorite is the fact that they've come up with a mental health condition that justifies, once again, labeling someone as a terrorist, but more importantly, coming up with a medical profile, which once again puts the suspect into a extrajudicial system, and they no longer have the same legal rights. And we've seen this throughout history, notably amongst East German Stasi and in Nazi Germany, where psychological charges were brought against people, and they were basically shut away in mental institutions. So let's get right to it. We have a new, and this is right up there with restless leg syndrome, and that is the oppositional defiance disorder, or ODD. And I know I have it, and I suspect that most of my subscribers also have it. So I'm basically setting up a useful idiot oppositional defiance disorder support group. And these are the characteristics as outlined. Quote, denotes that the person exhibits symptoms such as the questioning of authority, the refusal to follow directions, stubbornness, the unwillingness to go with the crowd, and the practice of disobeying or ignoring orders. Persons may also receive such a label if they are considered free thinkers, nonconformists, or individuals who are suspicious of large centralized government. At one time, the accepted protocol among mental health professionals was to reserve the diagnosis of ODD for children or adolescents who exhibited uncontrollable defiance towards parents and teachers, but now they're using it in a broad spectrum to look at people who just don't go with the flow. So there we have it, all you free thinkers, nonconformists, and those of you suspicious of government. And I know there's not that very many of you out there. So this is talking to a small crowd, but this is the way the government broadens the spectrum and is showing its true colors in the fact that dissidents in general, free thinkers, nonconformists, anybody that doesn't swallow state corporate media propaganda is somehow an outlaw and is going to be under the umbrella of terrorism and is going to be put into the surveillance police state and the government corporate partnership. So anyway, there we have it. We're all terrorists now. We knew it. We knew it all along. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.